What's up, watch community? Skylar Santana. Let's talk watches. So, you're gaining a lot of information on watches. You're doing your research, you're doing your due diligence, going on YouTube and such. Maybe you're buying books, maybe you're just watching YouTube videos, going on forums, whatever the case may be. And you've collected a lot of data where you feel comfortable enough to carry a conversation. But the people in your normal daily life, friends, family, coworkers, they don't really collect watches themselves. They're not really into it. So, you hit this kind of like flat line, this dead end where you're not really able to communicate the things that you've learned or expand on them, swap information, kind of like the excitement is starting to fizzle out. What do you do then? Well, that's where watch communities come into play, right? What are watch communities? How could they help? Which ones should I join? Which ones do you recommend? And such. So I've been collecting watches for since 2020. That's when I started my journey. I started very slow. Apple Watch here, a couple watches there. Um, and I took a lot of time to do research on watches to see what I could expand on what would be more tailored towards what I would like to collect and, try to get a better understanding of a watch, right? Like mechanical watches, I had no idea, I had no clue they even existed, really. I just took watches for face value and I just thought, hey, most watches were quartz from what I understood. And that's all I knew that was out there. But then I dove into it and I saw that there was mechanical watches and I understood, what the hype was about that and how they were nostalgic and why you want to add those to your collection. And as I started acquiring more and more information, sometimes more curiosity starts to bubble up, right? You again, going back to the mechanical watch, you may ask, why does the second hand sweep smoothly, or, why does it need to be serviced and taken apart and cleaned, and why is it not as accurate as a quartz? And these conversations can be continued to be researched, and you can do your due diligence on your own and everything else, but it's a lot more interactive. It's a lot more fun to be into this kind of collecting world and enthusiasm when you're doing it with other people. And when you get to a point where you know X amount of knowledge and you're looking to expand on that, the people around you in your real life, whether it be coworkers, friends, family, your better half, whatever the case may be, they might just not be into watches as much as you are, right? So your enthusiasm at that point can potentially flatline. So what do you do at that point? That's where watch communities come into play. What are watch communities? How could they help? Which ones do you recommend? And so on and so forth. So watch communities are platforms that, you could get involved with in order to communicate with other enthusiasts that are into watches just as much as you are, or maybe even more at that point. Um, I started my watch journey in 2020 and I started off very slow with an Apple Watch and I didn't even know what a mechanical watch was. So it took me some time to really, dive into, those questions and, gain some information. But once I made my purchase on my first mechanical watch, I was very excited. And you need someone to share that with, that is going to share the same excitement or understand what it is to acquire that knowledge and then acquire that piece that makes it so personal to you, but then also understand what that feeling is like, right? So that's when I stumbled upon Watch Crunch. This was 2023 of March, I believe. I started my account, and like most people on Watch Crunch, you make an account and you kind of sit on the background because you don't know what kind of atmosphere it's going to be. Are there trolls on here? Are there watch snobs? What are people posting? Are they only posting one type of watch? Is this a variety? All those questions go through your mind, and it's a little intimidating just to jump in and start posting your own personal watches and stuff. So I find that a lot of people who also start on that platform start off the same way, and they'll even start off their first post saying, hey, didn't really know what Watch Crunch was really about. So I kind of stayed in the background. And, after seeing how much positivity and how much interaction there is, here's my first post. Here's my watches. I'm really happy I found this platform. So as far as watch communities goes, I really recommend Watch Crunch. They have your own personal profile that you can set. There's what's on your wrist for the day that you can take a picture of, which will take a picture that you upload of the watch that you're wearing, and then it'll compile a collage of those watches that you can look back and reflect. 2023 of March when I started. What was my first post? How did the picture come out? Did I change the band? Did I mod the watch? Did I move on? It's just nice to be able to have something to be able to reflect on, whilst also being able to communicate with the community and have those interactions, and at the same time be able to see what they're wearing, right? Because, to compare it to YouTube, which YouTube is great. Listen, I started off in YouTube. The only problem I see with it is that you're missing that kind of attachment to it, to where you can upload your own things, you can interact right away. Like you can make a comment to one of your top YouTubers and wait for them to reply, and there is some kind of back and forth with that. But I feel like Watch Crunch is a little bit more personal. Uh, the response time is a lot faster because you're putting your comments out, and a lot of people are seeing it, engaging it. Maybe people that follow you directly and are looking to see what your engagement is. So that's what I think YouTube is really just missing on that front. I mean, they really go together, right? It's really like peanut butter and jelly to be able to go and see a nice refined video and see somebody who's very educated, and you like them for their content, you like them for their character, you like them for their charisma, etc., etc. But that has been my take on it. I feel like that's why I feel like there's a need for you to have some kind of social media attached to your enthusiasm of watch collecting. And I haven't really entertained many platforms, if I'm being honest here. So I'm sure that there's others out there. You can comment down below if you guys are a part of any other kind of social media platform that you know influences watch communities. But that has been my experience with it, and pretty much it checked all my boxes, so I didn't really need to continue searching. And I've been really active in my account and just enjoying the experience all the way around. So with that being said, I really do recommend that you do those two things. It would be YouTube, and then it would be Watch Crunch. And then you just keep, diving in if you really feel like you want to be a part of even more communities, or, want to further in that. Now, another recommendation that I suggest is to just hop on Google and see if there's anything in your local area, any kind of watch meetups. For instance, they had the Wind Up Fair not too long ago in the city here in New York, and I went down to there. There was a bunch of booths with independent brands that you don't get to really see their pieces in store too much. There, a lot of them were online based, so it was really nice to be able to interact with them. But then you also are standing right next to somebody else who is potentially interested in the same exact brand that you're interested in, and you could spark up a conversation. Most people, from my experience, through talking, meeting in person, Watch Crunch, YouTube, and all that, most people who are in the watch community are very positive people. They're very like-minded. I think that there's something to say about liking watches and really enjoying them for what they are. I think that there's a connection there that automatically allows you to relate to someone else, right? Because there's just like that overall, feeling of just connecting on a particular topic. And then, not everybody, watches aren't for everyone. Like a lot of people will own a watch, but feel no connection to it, have no enthusiasm about it. They're just like, yeah, yeah, it's my watch. It tells me the time. It makes me look like I'm professional, and or I care about being on time. And that's the end of the conversation. So it's a little bit different than somebody who wants to know how the watch works and where was it made, what's the history, how does the movement inside of a watch compared to another one. There's just so many different aspects of a watch rather than just telling time. And only a true enthusiast, somebody who's really excited about it. And there's nothing wrong. Listen, if you're not into it, you're not into it. I'm not saying anything bad towards that. What I'm saying is that if you are into it and someone else isn't, it's going to be hard to connect and really talk about watches with that person in depth. And that's the point of this video. So if you guys have any questions, comment down below and subscribe if you're looking forward to seeing my next one. Until then, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.